What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this awesome HTML for website development. In this lesson, we're gonna continue where we left off last time. So this is the navigation bar. So we've already set up that in the previous video. The next thing we're gonna do right now is to create the hero section. So you can add a comment by clicking on the text you want to comment and control key plus /. So I'm creating the hero section here. I'm creating it here. Now to add a comment, you need to use the less than sign alongside with the exclamation mark and hyphen double. So do it and wrap it around so it will automatically create a comment with a green column. So a comment in HTML doesn't show in the browser. The comment, it is only meant for explanation, code explanation. Maybe you write a code and you make use of the comment. It will enable you to know what exactly you did in that code. So I'm going to use the h1 element with the cover template text. So you can use any text inside this. Let me just search for the design itself. So I'm going to make use of the text that I utilize for it. So let me expand it for you to see. Let me expand everything. So I'm just gonna grab the copy template text and paste it into my h1 element. After pasting it, I need a paragraph too with the p element, just p. Just going to grab this text to right click, copy back to your code editor and paste it inside. So after that, there is something called format selection. So when there is a longer text, you highlight the text and right click and click on format selection. It will adjust the text length. It will shrink it to fit to a normal position that is supposed to be. The next thing is the button element. We have to use the button element. So we have different ways of using the button element. One is using the button element, while one is using the input element. Well, here now I'm making use of the button element with the type attribute button. Inside it we have download template as its text. Click on save. Whenever you make changes to your code, make sure you save. After that, we need the footer section of an HTML. So we have an HTML element called footer. So let's say footer. Footer is what you see at the very bottom of a website with it can have a copyright symbol, a social media handle, or a form. Contact form can be inside the footer element of a page. So you can put anything inside the footer paragraph that I created in here. So as you see right here, so I'm using the minor text. You can use any text, maybe professional template by so by John, by Mary, or something like that. You can make use of any text you want. Next up, we are to create the CSS file. After this, so now to create a copyright symbol in HTML, you use the ampersand, which is the and copy alongside with the semicolon. It will automatically create the copyright symbol. So let us see that. Well, as you can see, at the end, you see the copyright symbol. The next thing we're gonna do is to write some CSS styling. So I'm making use of this universal selector, which is the hashtag, alongside with the pseudo class before, alongside with the pseudo class after. So we are to strip off some default settings in our HTML code. I'm set the margin to 0. The padding is gonna be 0 as well. Box sizing is gonna be border box. Don't worry about what that means. You'll get to know how to make use of it as soon as we get into the meat of this design. So I'm targeting the font family. Font family is the font face, the font type we're gonna use for the entire design. I'm using Rubik. If you don't have that, just make use of sans serif. So like so. The sans serif I'm gonna add here is called fallback font. The fallback font act as the default font in when the original font that I make use of inside the single quote in here. So if the font failed, the fallback font, which is sans serif, will take action. So let us proceed. So the next thing for us to do is to connect this CSS file inside our HTML by using the link CSS. Make sure the file name corresponds with the file name we created for our CSS. For example, in here I create main.css. Yours can be style.css. It doesn't matter. You can use any name you want. Make sure it has the .css extension like so. As you can see, the font changes. Now let us continue. We're gonna start by targeting the nav bar. I'm creating a comment, Ctrl// as well. I'm targeting the nav bar. I'm giving it a background color of red. The background color is gonna be red. After adding the background color, save and preview. Wow, this is what we have. The next thing is to add a utility class. A utility class in CSS is also known as reusable component. Reusable component is a component that you make use of often throughout your entire design. So once I create this utility class, I can make use of it in my HTML file. So your utility class name can be any name, can be father.father.mother or something. So in CSS, I'll do a separate video how to utilize a class more often. So I'm just giving you a tip of an iceberg about a class. So I'll do a separate video on ID attribute and a class attribute. So this is a class attribute. A class attribute usually starts with dot followed by the class name we specified in our HTML. So in here, I had a max width of 1080 pixel. So I'm gonna change it soon. Stay tuned. So I set the margin 0 top and bottom, auto left and right. So which is gonna center whatever within the container. So I'm just gonna create the class. You see div class container. Make sure the name corresponds. It can be anything you wish. I'm just gonna wrap it around at the very end of the UL element that I close, the closed UL element. So after saving it, just check it out on your web browser. You see the effect. So I'm going to change the max width for the container to be 800 pixels. So that's what I'm gonna use last. 800 pixel. 800 pixel. After saving it, check it out in your web browser. Whenever you make changes to your code, make sure you save. Refresh. You don't need to refresh anymore since you are making use of the live server. But for you utilizing the Sublime Text or Notepad, you have to refresh your browser. So I'm taking the utility class at the very bottom where the body class is. Body rule set. A rule set in CSS comprises of the selector, the curly braces, the property, and the value. For example, the font hyphen family is the property, while the rubric is the value we assign to it. So target the container inside the navbar. We have container inside the navbar. I'm just gonna display it as a flexbox. So in CSS, you'll learn about flexbox too. I'm just gonna say align item is gonna be center like so. So let us refresh. As you can see, everything is in the center position. So we're gonna split it up by using the justify content. It's gonna be space between. So it's gonna split it into two sides. So that's pretty much it we need to do. So now to strip off the bullet point for the list item. So you do this list type is gonna set to none. After setting that, we need to as you can see, there is no bullet there anymore. So for the anchor element, the link, I'm just gonna say text decoration. You see the underline with the link is a text decoration.